here, and especially to introduce you to our incredible influencers. And first, I want to introduce our VIP bartender of the hour, Dr. Katie Woodley. Dr. Katie, if you'd like to introduce yourself and explain how we're going to kick off this awesome session, and then I will take over and get everyone else to introduce themselves as well.
Great. Thanks so much for the introduction. Hey, kitty lovers. Thank you, pet parents, for being here. So excited to be here. I'm Dr. Katie Woodley, the natural pet doctor. My jam is holistic medicine to help your kitties live a long and vibrant life. So tonight we're going to be talking about my kitty calming tea, because who doesn't need calming tea right now, right? So what's really cool is that not only is this tea safe and healthy for your cats, but it's something that you can drink too. So you might be partaking in a more alcoholic beverage tonight, which is fine. It's Saturday evening in the US. However, let's talk about some of the really cool things that we're gonna make for our tea. So I outlined everything here. I'm gonna show you. So if you saw the amazing social media posts, you can follow along with the recipe. So I've got 1 tablespoon of dried organic catnip, which is really awesome. So catnip can either make your cat crazy, or it can make your cat roll all over the ground and be super calm, or it may do nothing. So, but the thing is it's nice and safe, which is good. So use organic, love organic products because it's gonna have less chemicals and less things in it. I also have some of this growing in my garden for my kitties to roll around on, rub on toys. So that's the real product. And then I also have a tablespoon of dried organic chamomile. So this is, listen up, if you're stressed out, this is something that you want also. So what I've done is I have these 2 already pre-measured. So this is about a tablespoon of the dried organic herbs. And then I have this amazing teacup, not super exciting, but what's cool is I have one of these little dishes here, and we can put it right in here. So I'm just gonna pour this right in here. Super easy, right? You're like, this is not complicated. Any person can make this. And what's really nice is that this is soothing, calming. It helps everyone relax after a stressful day. The really neat thing with chamomile that I love, so I do a lot of herbal medicine in my practice with my patients, is chamomile helps your kitties if they have an upset tummy. So who here has a cat that vomits or sometimes likes to bring things up, right? Super common for those cats. So we can use chamomile tea to help them feel their best. So then what we do, we have our tea, dried tea leaves in here. All we have to do is pour the water in. So this is boiled, pre-boiled water from the jug. And I let it honestly sit. I fill it up so that the tea is covered in the cup, and I let it sit and let it brew. It's just like you're making a cup of tea for yourself. So easy. It takes 5 minutes. Where I get my organic tea is I get it from my local tea stores. So I love supporting local. And so someone asked, I just saw how much water, 8 ounces of water. You want enough to cover it and for it to brew. And then this nice little cup from Ohome has a little cover on it, which is great. So it allows it to just sit there and brew, which is fantastic. And what I love also about, you can use like tea balls also, where you put the dried tea leaves into the water. You can pull those leaves out. So let's say, okay, 5 minutes in, right? It's ready. All I have to do is remove that. And now what we have is the tea water. So either let it, make sure it's nice and cool. We don't want to burn any little kitty tongues. That's never a good thing if we do that. But then what we have, because some cats will drink this by themselves. Other cats will drink, they'll actually drink it if you put it in their food. So you can soak their food with this tea mixture. If they're not into chamomile or catnip tea, what you can do is you can either use raw goat milk, which I have in this little saucer here, or you can even use broth. So something that your cat likes, or tuna water, sardine water. You can put sardines in this if you feed your cats raw, you feed them sardines. Use something that you know that your cat likes. And all you're going to do is put a 1/4 cup of that tea into the little saucer dish once it's nice and cool, and then you can put it down for your cats. Now, if you have a lot of different cats at home, so you have more than one and you're not sure how they respond to catnip, test out the catnip first in case you have a kitty that likes to get a little rowdy and crazy on a Saturday night, so you know how they handle themselves on the catnip. And then give them the tea, or you can give them the tea separately in separate areas of the house. But this is a really nice, safe, organic way to get extra nutrients, natural ways to help reduce anxiety. So you're going to put a 1/4 cup of that tea into the saucer, and you can use however much that you'd like to. For your, on the recipe, I put 1 to 2 tablespoons of raw goat milk. So just enough to mix it up. And with your dried organic tea, once again, so the recipe, 1 tablespoon organic catnip, 1 tablespoon organic chamomile. So this is just dried tea leaves that you can get from the local store. And then you're going to brew it like you normally would. So using one of these little things, or like one of those saucer balls that you can put the tea leaves in, and just drop it in to your teacup, pour 8 ounces of boiling water into it, let it brew for 5 minutes, remove the tea leaves. So we're not giving them the actual tea leaves. And then you're going to pour a cup of that water, the tea water, into the saucer of the goat, like at 1 to 2 tablespoons of raw organic goat milk, or like broth or tuna water, just to add a little bit of extra flavor for them. And so you can use that. You can use that a couple times a week. If your cat's really stressed, you're moving, you're really stressed, and your cat's feeling stressed too, drink the chamomile tea. I also wanted to show a brand that we have here in the States, Traditional Medicinals. They have organic tea, and they have an organic chamomile and lavender, which is super good for them also. So there's a lot of different ways that we can use herbs to help your pets, help your cats feel their best. All right, Lee.
Dr. Katie, that was awesome. I have to ask, how did you come up with this? I mean, did you actually get in the kitchen and kind of mad scientist to put these things together? Or was it, you had some extra tuna water, so you gave it a go?
Well, that's a great question. So using herbs, I mean, I look at, okay, what are the things that are happening right now in the world, right? Everyone's stressed out. We need to calm, we need some stress relievers. So what are the natural things that we can use that help? And so that's where we can use chamomile, use it for so many things. Like I mentioned, for cats upset digestive tracts, it's really calming, it's soothing. And also I wanted something really safe, because I know there's a lot of different types of cats here that may have some medical conditions. So knowing that the things we're using are safe. And then catnip's fun, it's safe. Some cats have that genetic gene, that genetic trait that they can respond to the catnip. And combining the two, especially we know catnip as an herb has sedative properties. So using them, and you can try it. It may work, it may not, but at least it's safe, and it's a fun thing to try with your cats.
Thank you so much, Dr. Katie. And everyone, let's cheers. I think a bunch of us brought some drinks of our own. I don't think any of us are actually drinking the tuna teenies ourselves, but if you are, to each his own. But yes, thank you so much for that. You've got some people asking you in the chat where they can find that recipe, and also importantly, where they can find and follow you as well, if you want to respond to people in there. We will also be monitoring the chat if you guys have questions for the rest of the panelists and influencers on here throughout the rest of our chat. But yes, thank you so much for kicking off an awesome happy hour. We're so excited to introduce you to the rest of the group. Again, cheers, Dr. Katie. Thanks for hanging with us.
Cheers. Thanks for having me. Thanks, everyone.
Great. And now I'd love to introduce everyone to all the other wonderful cat lovers we have here today. Let's start. It looks like we've got a special. We've got both Nate and Nick. Is Teeny Dina with you guys today?
She is. Let me grab her real quick.
Of course, we want to see her. We'd love for you guys to kick it off and introduce yourselves. Tell us first where we can find you, how we may know you guys, and Teeny Dina, and just tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Yeah, so we are at Teeny Dina on every platform that I know how to use well. So basically Instagram and Facebook. I'm Dad 1, this is Dad 2. You hear me making fun of both of us as our cat every morning. Thank you for following us. But yeah, this is Dina. She's a retired Russian blue show cat, and now she just naps on our couch. So pleasure to meet you all.
Thank you both for coming. Coming up next, let's go to Max. Max, will you introduce yourself and tell us about your cats?
Yes. So I have, I'm sorry, shrimp and coconut. Together they are coconut shrimp. And Yeah, we're on TikTok at Max and Coconut Shrimp, and their Instagram is Coconut Shrimp. So my little goblin babies, and I love them so much.
Goblin babies. I love that. All right, I'm jumping over to the lady of the house. We've got Katie Beth. Katie.
Hi. Hi, I'm Katie Beth, and you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Cappy Bear. I think we play a little harder on TikTok, so you might find some more whimsical stuff over there, but the account comprises of myself, and it's kind of the daily adventures of caring for my 2 special needs cats. So this is Cappy Bear right here. He's taking a little snooze right now, but he's an international rescue from Dubai, and he doesn't have control of his bodily functions. So we put him in a little diaper, and I call him my cat in pants. And then I have one other cat. I'm going to grab him really quick. He's right here. His name is Leopold, and Leopold is blind, but he's awesome. He's from Washington, D.C. He's a rescue from Washington, D.C. And yeah, we all live in Nashville, Tennessee.
It is so exciting to get to meet you guys and your cats. I'm going to jump now down to Nathan. And Nathan, I don't know if you can get all 4 of them. How do you?
There's no way. I'd have to bribe them with a lot of food, and they're mid-nap. So I grabbed one that I could. This is Princess. She's got the heterochromia right there. But yeah, we're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Snapchat, YouTube, you know, any of those. It's pretty much all Nathan the cat lady. I got 4 kitties. This is Princess. I got Pickles, Ginger, and Annie. Some of you saw Ginger's tail floating around a little bit ago when she was walking by. And yeah, so we got these 4 little critters.
Well, you've got the Basepaws awesome background, so every now and then we just see a tail come through the
random tail
fly by. Background. One of your 4 cats
randomly going through.
That is awesome. Hey, Nathan. And then Mick, so excited to meet you and your cats. If you don't mind introducing yourself.
Absolutely. My name is Mick, and I'm joining you from Seattle. And you can find me online on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, on this guy's account right there. That's the Klaus cat. So his name is a very Germanic spelling, Klaus. And you probably know me from being the cat dad of Oscar the blind cat, sitting right next to Klaus in my background. And I'm joined by my newest sidekick, and this is Juno. She's also a blind kitty, and she will frequently make appearances on Klaus's account.
We've got 3. Oh, wow.
Very vocal.
Yeah.
Hi, Juno.
Hello to the cats as well. It is so great to have you all. And if you can't see the chat, it is just popping. People love you guys, love your cats. It's so fun to have you all here at once. Have any of you met each other before in real life or, you know, interacting in COVID Zoom times?
I think a lot of new faces for me, actually.
That's really exciting. So a lot of people who follow you, love your stories, love your cats, and now you guys get to meet each other. So thank you to Basepaws for bringing us all together. Again, cheers. I am super excited to lead this off. I should have introduced myself at some point, but I'm Lee D'Angelo. I'm CEO and co-founder of Tabby Dates. Tabby is the cat person's dating app. It is the best way for cat lovers and cat owners to find a compatible match and plan a dog-friendly date. And I know we are all about the cats here, but we also have Dig, the dog person's dating app. So feel free to tell all the dog lovers, you know, that are single as well. We don't want to leave them out. But because we've got such a dating and love focus, I wanted to just set the stage here and ask everyone who is totally single to raise your hand. All right.
Good. I thought I was the only one. I was like, that's gonna be really sad. Just the one.
No, we got you both. We got you both. So, all right, all the single ladies, make sure you head on to Tabby Days and go find those guys. Max, I did not ask if you had a profile yet, but I'm just going to assume that you did check out all the cat ladies there. Nice. Yeah. And then Katie Beth, you have been in a relationship for, I believe, about 18 months.
March 2019. No. 2019. I can't even keep up with the dates anymore, but whenever March was. So I think, yeah, about a year and a half.
And this guy's a cat lover, right?
He is now.
What is that?
he never grew up with pets. He grew up with a couple siblings. I think he has three other siblings, but never grew up with pets. So this was he kind of just jumped right in the deep end with me, because it's not just one or two cats, it's two highly special needs cats. So yep, that was the story.
Well, I mean, that's pretty intense, but it's what a lot of people go through, right? I mean, you're an extreme case, multiple cats, special needs cats, but that's also why we created Tabby, for people to have a space to find each other. If you want something like that, and you want someone like that, because it can be hard, and you're in an awesome spot where someone was able to make those adjustments and learn to be a cat lover with you. And we've seen your videos. We know that he's awesome. It's Scott, right?
It is, yes.
Awesome. Actually, that'll lead me to my first question, or what I wanted to show everyone. I wanted to make this a little bit more interactive. And so everyone, you see these awesome influencers in front of you here. I would love to send you to their accounts. And for Katie Beth and Cappy Bear, we're going to start off on TikTok. And so everyone who's following along, if you're in the chat, head over to TikTok on your phone. And if you want to scroll down to head over to Cappy Bear's account and scroll down to July 30th, there is a post from you, Katie Beth, about going on date night and having that guilt of leaving your cats behind. Is that how you feel, all the time? Do you try to bring your cats with you anywhere you go?
I wish I could. No, that sounds about right, though. I think, honestly, like, the way it works with Scott is he is so patient with me, because he knows that if we say we're going to get ready and go to a date at 6 o'clock, or he's just going to come pick me up at 5 o'clock, he already knows that you have to add an hour to that, because then I need to put the diaper on Cappy, I need to give them snacks, I need to give them pets, I need to brush their fur, I need to take out their litter box. And I have a really hard time with the separation anxiety, especially with COVID happening and a lot more of that at-home time with my cats. I would say Scott's a trooper for sure. He's a good man.
Well, you can watch that video. It's really cute, really fun, but you definitely feel it, right? You're like, I know, Kevin Bear recognizes that we have to leave every now and then for date night, but it's something that we certainly all go through, that little bit of guilt at home. While we're on TikTok, I'm actually going to send everyone over to Coconut Shrimp and Max's account. Max, I'd love for you to scroll down to September 9th. You've got a post, and if you are looking for it on his profile, all you can see is like a sausage, egg, and cheese, like McMuffin or something like that, right? You start playing it and you see that your cat's really trying to go after those tater tots. And what I wanted to ask you about was just kind of table manners. How important is it that if you're dating someone, that they don't mind that your cat's on the table and your cat might swipe for, one of those tater tots?
Extremely important. It actually reminds me of a time like I had a cat forever ago, and he jumped up on the kitchen table, and like my grandfather was over, and he was like, "Get off the table," with a fork. And I was like, no, never. We can never like treat an animal like this and shoot them off. So I think it's a huge red flag if they have like limitations like that. Obviously, I try to like keep them off the counter and like have some semblance of like a civilized sit down dinner. But it's not always possible. So I think that my new thing with like dating is just to give like asterisks to everything. I'm like, hey, you're coming over for dinner. Just so you know, this is what you can expect. Like, there are going to be piggies in the meal. I will like try to keep them under wraps, but no guarantees.
That is important. I mean, do you have the conversation about things like allergies up front as well?
First thing right off the bat, yeah. I'm like, are you allergic to animals? And they're like, hopefully no, but then I get down to specifics and I'm like, okay, cool. So I do have 2 cats and they will be like throwing their hair into the air. So just settle up for that. But most people are like chill with it. And if they have allergies, then I block them.
Bye. Good luck.
Exactly.
I'm going to head over to Instagram now, and we're going to start with Nathan. Totally biased. I love Nathan's recent stuff because it's a ton of it is about Tabby. But Nathan, I know some of your stories, so I'd love for you to share. But one thing I'd love for people to scroll down to July 28th. You'll see a post on Nathan's profile, and that's Nathan the Cat Lady, and it has a ton of text all over. And it's examples of some of the things people have said to Nathan. And I don't want to steal your thunder, so I'll let you tell the story. But when you're trying to date someone and you find out that they're not a cat person, some of the things people say to you is insane. So Nathan, if you could describe that post to us, but then also tell us some of those stories.
Oh yeah, I mean, how many days do we have for me to go over all those? So yeah, no, it's funny. When we launched Tabby, I think it was the second week. Someone tried to add me on another app that I'd been using at the time, and I looked, and right on their profile said, "Don't hate me if," and then underneath it said, "I hate cats." I was like, I have 4 cats in my profile. Why are you even trying to match with me right now? And like, how is that high on your priority list? Like, you have to let them know, don't worry about terrorists or this or all these things. No, it's cats. That's what their big bugaboo was. Anyway, it drove me nuts. But yeah, it's definitely been something I've faced a lot. I mean, my last relationship ended after over a year. And one of the issues was getting close to like, maybe we should move in with each other. And she sat me down. I was like, I don't ever want to live with cats. So, are you willing to get rid of your cats? I was like, no, they were here long before you. And it's apparently they're going to be here long after. So, it is what it is. But, it's a commitment you take when you take on cats. You're in it for the long haul. So, but yeah, I've heard some crazy. So that video is just all the things that you get when you're on a regular dating app. I don't like cats. I'm allergic. I'll match with girls and they'll write back and say, "So are those your cats?" Yeah, those are my cats. Oh, I'm more of a dog person. That sucks for you then. All right. I didn't know you're so limited on 4-legged creatures, but bye-bye. It's just an ongoing thing, which is the great part about Tabby. Everybody in there, they love cats. There's no hesitation. Everybody in there loves it. So it's smooth sailing. You get over that hump, and then it's on to the other stuff, the easy stuff.
That's definitely the idea. Now, you told me this when we first met, but you said that dog people tend to just be dog people, but cat people seem to be animal lovers and much more open to the idea of just loving animals. And that really struck me from the beginning. Why do you think people have this, or dog people have such a visceral reaction to dog versus cat?
I gotta blame the media. I think it's become so trendy to hate cats and love dogs. Whenever cats are in the media, it's like, oh, they're with a witch. Someone knocked over trash cans in an alley and they ran away. Like, it's always this negative thing. So I think people just are like, oh, it's trendy to hate cats. But yeah, you ask any cat lover, hey, I have a dog. Amazing. I have a ferret. Cool. I've got squirrels. Sweet. Love it. But dog people, they're so, nope, I only love dogs. It's the only creature I like. And I don't know what it is. I'm going to blame the media because they're easy to blame for everything, but it's so crazy.
As a former TV reporter, I will let it stand, but I don't but I hear you. I certainly hear you. I'd love to jump back over to Nate and Nick. I didn't pick a specific post for y'all because I'm much more interested in just y'all and your relationship and how your cats have played in a long-term relationship facet. If you guys have a story for us, or if you do have a post you want to send us all to, I'd love your opinion on one of those that kind of showcase how cats have been a part of your relationship building and experiences.
Yeah, so this will date us, but we met about 15 years ago, a little over 15 years ago, on an antiquated website called MySpace. I don't know if anyone even remembers it at this point. But we met a long time ago when we were both in college, and we lived in the same city, and I was a cat person, he was a dog person. So we'll touch on Nathan's comment here in a minute, but we met, and I don't know, we hit it off really early on, and we both loved our respective pets. And I think maybe you thought you were more of a dog person in the beginning, but then you kind of became a cat person because the cat that I had at the time has passed away. His name is Baxter. And I used to say he was cat hardware running dog software. So he was easy for a dog person to kind of warm up to. He liked to play fetch. He liked to do a lot of dog type things. But yeah, what was it like, I guess, when you met Baxter? And
yeah, I think once you fall in love with an animal, it kind of, you just love that animal. And Baxter definitely played fetch, stole my heart. Couldn't have a dog to play fetch with, so I had a cat to play fetch with. And Dina still plays fetch with us.
Yeah, 15 years later, we have a new pet who is similar to Baxter but pretty different. But I think the role that both Baxter and Dina played in our life is that they're a family member. So it's kind of like a kid. It's kind of like a little brother. It's kind of, you can't imagine life without them once they're part of your life. And I couldn't imagine trying to date somebody that didn't want to be part of that, or that didn't want to share that part of life with me. So I think we're both on the same page there. We love animals, and we love giving them the best life that we can. And I think that's probably the strongest part of our relationship, is that compassion for pets.
That's such an awesome story. And when you met each other, that was important. But how about growing your relationship? 15 years. I mean, started with MySpace. That I got to tell you, the chat lighting up. Oh, my Lanta, MySpace.
It's been a long journey from like sparkly graphics and bright eyes lyrics on a MySpace page to, having like adult jobs and, moving across the country and whatever. But I think it was fun to grow together. I think it was fun to experience life together. We had to experience the loss of Baxter together. That was actually really, really tough for us too, because we'd had him for years and he really started to feel like a pet, like that was more than just an animal that lived in our house. He was like a child in some ways, and I think animal lovers can understand that bond. But I think even going through that process together was really important for our relationship, because we had to support each other, and it was sad, and it was hard to lose what felt like a family member. And then, when Dina came along, it kind of felt like our family felt more complete again. So, she's fulfilled a new role and a new kind of companionship for us, and we're super happy. So.
Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. Relationship goals, 100%. I see Max nodding along. Nathan, great. Looking for that kind of love. That's so wonderful, guys. And Mick, so excited to chat with you as well. You are also in a relationship. You are married. I'd love to hear your story and how cats have played a part of your relationship and your family's relationship.
Sure. Yeah, so I grew up with cats and dogs, but when I met my wife, in the MySpace days as well, in 2004, I didn't have a cat, but I was just done with the relationship with a girl that I would say didn't just dislike cats, but she despised the idea of ever having a cat, and I always found that to be very odd. So, we didn't last, and I met my wife Bethany, and she at the time lived with her parents, and they had 3 or 4 cats. So, she was absolutely exposed to the idea that it's okay to live in a household with many cats. And I appreciated that. And it wasn't long thereafter that we got married in 2006. And then Klaus, right here, was adopted that same year. And then right after that, we adopted Oscar. And that led ultimately to us having 2 children. So it's kind of a gateway drug, I would say. But no, but it was great practice. Raising a cat like Klaus or Oscar, it's no different than raising children. I mean, they're just part of the family. And because she had that exposure to animals from an early age, just like I did, I think it made her just a more nurturing and compassionate person. So it was a very natural transition later when we started our human family. But our kids call the cats their brothers and sisters. That's the way they grew up with it.
I was just going to ask you that. So are they brothers and sisters, or, were the cats there first, so they're uncles, or how do y'all interact with the cats and the kids?
Yeah, Klaus is the older brother, and Juno's the younger sister now, since she's only 2 years old. But, my kids are now 5 and 4. I guess one's, almost 6 years old. So, they grew up with the cats from day one. And when I brought Faye, the older daughter, home from the hospital in the, the car seat, we just let Klaus, lay on top of her immediately. I mean, he was kind of absorbing the heat, right? But we had no fears about their interaction. And, I just wanted to instill that idea from an early age that, this is your family and everybody has the exact same rules in the house. If Klaus, the cat, is sleeping on the sofa right there, like, you do not move him. That's his spot. And, that's kind of their approach to it as well. So, I would say that they are going to grow up to be an extremely, compassionate duo, both girls.
So you're kind of training the kids, training them. This is when you can touch the cats. This is when you can't touch the cats. And this is how we all can play together nicely.
Exactly. I didn't have to train him much. As a matter of fact, Klaus he's so mellow and easygoing that he's like the ultimate trainer for a kid. We know when kids start crawling around, they chew on everything, that their hands are wet because they're always drooling on themselves. I mean, kids are kind of gross, but, cats don't like to be touched with wet hands. They don't like to have their tail pulled or anything like that. But Klaus kind of set the rules. He would give them like a soft paw, across the face or something. So they learned that this is not okay. And they kind of developed their own, pecking order in the house, I would say. But the issue was that, the cats are family and they're never going to be treated in any other way.
Well, Mick, I'm going to actually start back with you and head back through the list here. I've got some more questions. I know people would love to learn from you guys. I'm going to jump on more the influencer side of things. I know people have a lot of questions on just, what's it like to be the face of your pet? What's it like to constantly be coming up with creative things to talk about and in really fun and unique ways? And what do you love about your followers? And so, Mick, I just wanted to start with you. And I want to preface this with the idea that on dating apps, people should be coming up with really creative, fun ways to interact with each other. You're going to do horribly if you just say, hey, to someone and then hope that a conversation starts. When you've got cats in common already, you've got this opportunity to kind of be creative and have fun conversations, come up with fun date ideas. And so I just wanted to see what we could learn from all of you about thinking creatively. You've got this animal, during COVID, we've all been sitting at home with our pets, and days can really feel the same day to day, but you guys are coming up with such creative, fun things every single day. So Mick, I wanted to start with you on just your thought process. How do you come up with creative posts, and any advice you can give to people who are trying to translate that maybe into their dating lives?
Sure. So for me, I've been doing this for 9 years now. I think 2011 is when we set up our first, Facebook page for Oscar, and jumped onto Instagram after that. And really, I look at social media in two ways. I am not, there's an audience that was built up over the years, but that's not my primary motivator. I want to kind of chronicle my life, through the lens of the cats. Like, they appear in every single picture, that's the focus of my account. But it's fun to see what's in the background, to see my life before I had the kids, what happens once the kids were brought home, how they grew. It's so much fun just to go back and look through this incredible chronicle of your own life. But, being creative, I think just naturally, kind of get bored with doing the same thing. So, the social media is kind of like the Wild West. Anything goes, this is your own domain. So you can have your own approach to what you post. You create your own voice. And I think that's what draws, and builds the audience. But it's totally fine to kind of reinvent yourself frequently when you're online. So, it is a creative pursuit in a lot of ways, and I really enjoy what I'm doing. And I think maybe, I haven't used any dating apps myself, but I think that's the same approach. Just go out there, put yourself out there, and try something absolutely new that you haven't done before. And if you don't have much success, don't repeat the same thing over and over. Shift gears, like the old saying. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So I think it's okay to just to kind of morph and evolve, whether it's your online profile, if you find that the followers are dropping off, just spice it up a little bit, do something you haven't done before. If you haven't been into video, go that direction. And maybe the exact same thing with a dating profile. If you don't have a lot of luck, just present another aspect of yourself or another angle.
Spoken like a true married man. I'm just kidding. We appreciate that so much. Teeny Dina and y'all's family, Nate and Nick, would love your take on it too. How do you come up with creative posts? We've got some questions in chat as well. A lot of people obviously want to know how to build their own audience. A lot of that comes, of course, from this process of coming up with the creative posts and making sure that it's high quality and you're staying in touch with your audience. But how do y'all come up with really fun things to do to film, and then also what can we, the rest of us, learn from you guys?
Well, I'll preface that by saying that I don't think we ever intended on Teeny Dina being like an influencer. It's kind of started out tongue in cheek. I really wanted to create like a character for our cat where she really believes she's like the second coming of Mariah Carey, and she hates her parents and she's trying to be famous, but she's just a cat, right? And people kind of liked it. And I think it probably, correlates with COVID and us all being stuck inside. So there was some entertainment in it. I don't know. But I think like just finding a voice for your pet. And I think everybody that has a pet already in their head knows what their cat would sound like or their dog would sound like. When are they mad at you? When are they annoyed? What types of quirks do they have? And you just, I don't know, for us, we write posts about what we think she's thinking when we take that picture. And more often than not, she's making fun of one of us. So it's, it's complicated that I am making fun of myself as my cat, but people seem to like it. I guess my question for you is, what is it like knowing that I am making fun of you and me as our cat every day so that they can laugh?
I think you're just doing a really good job of channeling what Dina's thinking, because I know that's what she's thinking. Like, it's not.
She's for sure thinking it. I'm just saying it in
you're helping her
English.
put some words to it for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, find the voice and run with it. Let your pet's personality and kind of own voice be its own thing. It's worked for us. So.
And I imagine y'all haven't been on dating apps since you met when Tom was everybody's friend. But any advice for people in coming up with maybe something unique to talk about your cat and meet other people?
I think just be honest, and even if that means being different or being weird or having kind of your own quirks and styles, like be real, because then you'll never have to live a lie. You'll never have to keep something up that isn't true. And if you're lucky, you'll find somebody that loves you and your pet for exactly the way you are. So be authentic, be genuine.
Oh my God, that's the cutest thing ever. Yes, I couldn't agree more. Nathan, we're headed to you next. Wanted to jump in and see if you have also a favorite post that you wanted to talk about in this mix, but you are definitely in the dating mix, and you're also definitely telling people about your cats, all 4 of them, all the time. So how do you see those two things play together when you jump on Tabby or on dating apps?
Well, at this point, the cats are such a big part of my life, and I added them since I couldn't get them all. This is Ginger, Pickles, Princess, and Annie, and we're surviving the alien invasion there. But yeah, basically, they are a big part of my life at this point. Like they were saying before, they're kids at this point. So when it comes to dating and stuff like that, it's really important right off the bat to find someone who's is as excited to interact with my cats as I am. For me personally, as an influencer, I'm going to be filming and doing goofy skits for a long time. And, I'd like to find somebody who's creative and fun and likes the idea of like, oh, you could do this kind of skit, maybe I could jump in. Because for me, I do everything by myself. I have a tripod, I edit, I'm running it all. I love the idea of finding somebody that's down to, I could hold the camera, I could do this, we could do this. Just makes everything so much easier. So it's a big part for me, is just finding someone who has that passion, has that, oh, I love your cats. I love the idea of that being a part of your life, and, them being open to making it part of theirs as well.
Now, Nathan, I think you're single because you're looking for a personal assistant instead of a date.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Figured it out.
That's all right. Yeah. Yeah. GoDaddy told me I couldn't put out applications anymore, so I switched to Tabby. That's what it was.
I'm just
but just finding a partner,
Yeah, someone who shares
Okay.
not just cats, but cats plus, right? You know, cat, like you said
Exactly.
before, cat is the base level. We have to have this in common that for us to be compatible. Now, what else can we start talking about and looking towards?
Exactly, exactly. You know, and obviously whatever their passions are, you know, it's like you find someone that has something that you're willing to do. You know, maybe they raise horses, maybe they're a jouster and I, you know, or something, and I'll jump in with the jousting. Who cares? You know, it's finding someone that is willing to work with your stuff, you work with their stuff, and you're compatible, you know?
Yeah. How about you, Max? Any idea of how your brain works when you decide to film and don't decide to film, and what you decide to share?
I have a theater background, so I like to say like that's how I got started. But I was like talking to myself in my like one bedroom and like obviously like chiming in with the cats from time to time. And I started my sort of like social media journey with them firstly on Instagram just to beat my sister's corgis because like they had some followers and I was like that literally was my like driving force. And then like TikTok rolled around and this was like right around in like COVID time. And I was like, oh, like I'll post like some videos of like myself. And then I posted a couple of videos of shrimp and people lost their minds. So I was like, oh, okay. So I feel like to your point, like listening to your audience, like if you get a positive reaction on something, and the same goes with like dating as well. Like if you are having a conversation and you are picking up on the cues of the person across from you and you're like, oh, they're enjoying this or like this is stimulating for them, then like continue down that route. And then in regards to like theater stuff, just improving and saying yes and I think is like one of the biggest dating tips that I could give somebody is like, you know, hear what they're saying to you, say yes, and build upon that. And then like that is how like the conversation really gets going. So it's not just like, hey, like to your point, like it's so boring.
So boring. Now my mind's racing. What improv games would be fun as like a first or maybe like a second date, like a bus stop or any of these other fun ideas?
Honestly, I feel like it might have to wait till like third date because improv games are like super weird sometimes. You're like zip, zap, zop. Like, can you imagine introducing that at the dinner table on a first date?
Hi, nice to meet you. Yes, and okay.
Exactly.
Oh, that's really fun. But I think you also touched on something that's really important for influencers and for dating is conversations are more than just speaking, they're listening, right? And you can kind of forget that because we're just listening to y'all all the time and watching you guys and following all of you and we're fascinated by what you do. But you're also listening to all of us, all of your viewers and your followers because you want to know how we really feel. And now maybe I'm projecting, I would love for y'all to care how we felt, but that's what it sounds like is that you're actually getting that kind of audience feedback like you were on stage.
TikTok allows you to like duet videos. And I think that that has been like one of the like craziest, most beautiful experiences is watching people watch your videos. And like people will pair it up with their kids sometimes. And they're like, my like child likes watching your video. And I'm like, that's absolutely amazing. Like that's what fuels me, I think.
I feel like I have to put a shirt on. Oh my God, there are children watching. And Katie Beth, I'd love your opinion too. How do you come up with, you know, your voiceover stuff is really, you always sound so beautiful and so lovely. You always look amazing. Your cats are always so great. Scott's such a champ. So please invite us into your head, into your world. How do you come up with what you're going to post?
That, I mean, that is a loaded question because sometimes I ask myself the same thing. I'm kind of similar with Max in that I started off TikTok with myself and I was trying to do those trendy dances that all of the younger generation Z's were doing, you know, like the say so dance or whatever. And it didn't really do much for them. And then I think at one point, Cappy was kind of like how he is here, where he's behind me, but he's there, but it's like very like low key. And people noticed him. And then he kind of kept showing up in my videos. And then finally I just thought, okay, I'm going to make a video of Cappy and see what happens. And it just kind of got people hooked. And so I think initially what really drew people in was his cuteness and how fuzzy he was. And, you know, that I was able to kind of like make that voiceover of Cappy, you know, the perspective of him, because it's hilarious. And people are like, we've never heard this before. Someone, does she not realize that she's not the cat? But then I think what really has like stuck and has made my audience or my community, I actually call them the Cappy Bears. What I think is the reason they've stayed is because we've just been real and very much just authentic this whole time. I've said this before, but what you see is what you get. We don't play games. You know, if it's a good day, we're going to let you guys know how good of the day it was and, you know, what Cappy or Lily did. Like, oh, maybe Lily, you know, didn't steal Cappy's food. But if it's a bad day and like Cappy has a fever or Cappy, you know, he's in pain and we don't know why, like y'all are going to know and you're going to feel that emotion. Because I can't like hide that. I have the worst poker face ever, which is funny because I work in contract negotiations. So you would think I could like do that, you know, not really showing my feelings and masking it. But for me, it's just, I have just shown up as myself. And it's fun for the content. I don't really just sit down and think like, oh, like what should I do today? It's more so Cappy needs to use the restroom right now. I'm just going to put my camera on the ground and film it. Or Cappy needs a bath. Let me just put it up and film it. So it's pretty organic in the sense that I'm just taking you with my life as I'm going with these crazy cats.
Do you have a favorite post or something that did, you know, much better than you thought it would, something that surprised you?
You know, I think that for the longest time, I've been giving Cappy a lot of the clout on the account. It's been just always Cappy this, Cappy that, and I want to share his special needs story. Lately, I have introduced Lily into the picture, and he's gone viral a couple times within the last, I think, like 10 days, just him trying to walk around being blind and him playing with a hair tie and him not being able to feel for it and find it. And it's I guess, just given a lot of sentiment and emotions to people. So it's been pretty cool because, I mean, TikTok has the creator fund, so we're actually able to kind of make some money off this while our views are going up. So I'm kind of like, wow, Lily, like you brought in some dough today. So it's been pretty cool. I like that I'm able to kind of introduce everyone and we're all kind of this unit together, I think is my thing.
Well, we hope everyone here is making money. We love small businesses and people supporting themselves, and especially when it involves our cats, and we've got more love because of that. And then also just wanted to shout out again, Basepaws, thank you so much because, and especially Katie Beth, you can maybe describe this a little bit more for us, but the money from today going towards cats in need and cats with special needs. And so just an incredible opportunity to bring people together around something we all care so much about. But yeah, I wanted to transition next to just asking each of you, and it looks like we only have about 5 or 10 more minutes left, but I would love a cat-friendly date idea or some way to incorporate your cat when you're meeting people. COVID or not COVID times. We can pretend it's the great before or you know, something to go forward, but I'd love to go through each one of your guys' different ideas of something fun you can do with your cat as you're meeting people, and especially keeping in mind the dates. And let's start with Max. I'm going up around my circle here.
I think, I don't know, this might be everyone's idea, but like a classic Netflix and chill type date, I think definitely works because then I'm like, you like really you're strapped into this roller coaster. Like they will be on top of you. They will be like in the area. So I think that always works, just like getting that first interaction out of the way.
Awesome. And Teeny Dina's dads.
Yeah, honestly, that might be our answer too. I think curling up on the couch with a bottle of crappy wine and a good movie and a cat between you, I think, you know, 15 years into it, that still hits the spot. So
we'll stick with that.
Yeah, it works.
I love that. And then Nathan, I know that you've been on a cat-friendly date, but it wasn't your cats. You've gone somewhere to do that. Can you tell us about that date?
Yeah, so we actually went to the one of the cat cafe lounges that I work with, and you know, it's cool. You go, you get a little latte, and you walk into a room with like 40 cats. And actually, the one down off Sepulveda Cat Cafe Lounge, I actually helped them hang all the lights and get that place put together. But they have a catio now, So you can actually go outside, but it's all caged in for the cats. So, maybe if you're not comfortable bringing the person to your place, or you're not comfortable going to somebody's place you can actually go to a cat cafe, still see how they interact with cats. If they pick up the cat and start swinging them around like this, to never let them come over ever, but if they pick up the cats and play with them, you've got a solid person there. You can work up to your cats.
And Mick, do you have any ideas, anything y'all have done with your cats that'd be fun, and any suggestions?
You guys kind of covered the first and second date, the cat cafe, then the Netflix, chilling with the cat at home. I would say for the third date, get a harness for your cat and head out to a park, and both of you can, laugh your butts off trying to get a cat to walk on a leash, and everybody will be laughing at you. It's a bonding experience, but yeah, just be a little bit more adventurous, I guess. And
you've done this recently, no?
I've tried it many, many times. You talk about it for days.
That's a great idea. And then Katie Beth, I wanted to ask you, shelter date or rescue related date, good idea or a bad idea?
Great idea, obviously. I've never personally done it, but I think that's a great idea. Sorry, I wasn't expecting that question. I absolutely think that's a great way to see someone, if they're compassionate or not, or if they have a soul. So I think absolutely, I would love someone who would want to just kind of get their hands dirty and do something, not typical on a first date. I would love that.
We always try to suggest, volunteering dates in relation to that too, and in any way you're able to help. Did you have any other ideas you wanted to bring up, Katie Beth?
Yeah, so as y'all know, I live in downtown Nashville, and Nashville is known for its really cool murals. So I think, what I love to do is Scott and I will go around the city, find our favorite murals, and take photos. And I haven't done this with Scott recently, but it kind of sparked an idea. But I would love to take Cappy and get some photos in the murals with Cappy. I think that'd be so fun.
I
it's
love
kind of
that.
going around the city. Yeah.
Maybe stop by someone who can caricature you with your cats too. See if they can stick there long enough for you guys to take something home. I love these ideas. And then I didn't hear anyone bring this up, but Nathan, you are the one who told me about this island of cats somewhere where the cats run around. Don't we all want to go travel there as maybe a fifth date, sixth date? But
I was gonna say that'd be a lot for a first date, because I think there's one in Indonesia, Japan, and then there's a place out in Hawaii. So that'd be a little much for a first date. Hey, you want to go to Japan with me? But I definitely down the road. That'd be amazing.
Would you say no? Would you say no if someone offered it?
No, I'm sure they'd be down if I was covering it. That's a pretty bold one. If you get on the plane, you realize you don't like each other. It's a long trip. That's a long trip. But yeah, no, that'd be amazing. Just a whole island full of cats. Definitely down for that.
I love it. Yeah, well, we are coming up at the end, but we just wanted to thank everyone. Does anyone have their drink left? I know it was happy hour, still is happy hour.
A little bit.
Yeah. If anyone has any more questions in chat, you guys have been amazing. But I think we're just going to wrap up here. If we all just want to go back through and just tell everyone where they can find you and any final thoughts, anything that I didn't bring up that you want to make sure people know about you or your cats or your friends and followers. I'm going to lead it off. Let's start with Mick. Anything you want to say, and also how we can find you.
No, thank you for having me on the panel. Again, I'm so out of the dating thing, it's not even funny anymore, but at least I can tell you where it all leads, right, if everything goes well. But online, look up Oscar and Klaus. These guys on Google, you'll find all sorts of cool kids books and things that we wrote over the years. Just another way to be creative while unplugging from our devices. And to find me on Instagram and now TikTok, since we resumed, look for the Klaus Cats. And thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you. And Nathan, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me
besides Tabby, right?
Of course on Tabby, of course. So yeah, you can find me on Tabby if you're looking for more than just videos. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, all of those ones. I have a website, Nathan the Cat Lady, and we've got fun Halloween shirts like this and stuff. But yeah, mostly Instagram and TikTok. That's where I'm doing a lot of my fun videos with the kitties. Also, last minute date idea I just thought of: get a bunch of cardboard boxes, 2 rolls of duct tape and scissors, and just make some cat tunnels in your apartment one day. You find a girl that's willing to turn your living room into a cat fort for a day. That's a keeper. That's a keeper right there.
That is so awesome. Yes, that's such a good idea. Thanks, Nathan. And then Nate and Nick, where can we find you guys and Teeny Dina, and anything else you wanted to share?
Yeah, we're at Teeny Dina at Instagram and Facebook, and he doesn't know it yet, but I'm about to convince Max to teach me how to use TikTok like a young person. So we'll be there eventually. And for the people on the internet that think that Dina is CGI, see, she's not. She's real, I promise. She's a real cat. Take that, Reddit.
I gotta say, you've got a lot of people on chat right now asking, yes, Dina on TikTok, please. And maybe you get started with a dance. That's what that's how you start, right? Yeah. Everyone's supposed to. We all should have done something to.
I can't promise it'll be good, but we're gonna give it a shot. We'll try.
Awesome, Max. Why don't you go ahead? Where can we find you, and anything else you wanted to share?
Yeah, Max and Coconut Shrimp on TikTok, and then at Coconut Shrimp on Instagram. And we're like talking about this, but adopt, rescue, please. I think that's like the biggest thing that you can do these days, the greatest thing.
For the cats as well as for us, right? Especially during these crazy times. You are absolutely right. Thank you, Max. And Katie Beth, where can we find you? And Lily and Kathy?
Yeah, so we are on Instagram and we are on TikTok at Cappy Bear. So you will find us there. We as I said earlier, the magic happens on our TikTok, so we try to post daily. And I guess just one thing I want to kind of share is if there's any Cappy Bears on right now, I just want everyone to know that, as much as I imagine you guys stick around because you enjoy watching the content we create, I just want everyone to know that by me being able to create the content for you, it's such a cathartic experience being able to share my story and have people actually hear me and kind of just let me feel what I'm feeling. So yeah, just want to say thank you, everyone.
Hey Beth, we are all Cappy Bears now, so absolutely. And thank you all so much for joining us. It's been an awesome Catter Day. Thank you to Basepaws for putting this incredible event together all day long. Thank you to all the vets. Thank you to the rescues for the work you do all the time, including today. And we can't wait to see everyone tomorrow as this amazing summit continues. Have a great Catter Day, everyone.
Bye. Thanks, Lee.
Bye.
See you all.